Hey y'all, I'm at the beach, so if there's any noise of wind or anything like that, forgive me. Look at how beautiful though. It's so yummy. And so I'm gonna talk about mental illness. And this will be an uncensored, unscripted rant because I have a lot to say. Specifically, I want to talk about manifestations of mental illness, how they can manifest themselves, mental disorders and mental challenges can manifest themselves in our mind, in our body, in our energy, but we stigmatize mental illness when it manifests through our mental processes. And when it manifests through our body, it's okay. It's normal. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because I did 5 years of research in psychology. I went all the way through the PhD. I stopped. And so I'm going to talk about why, too, I stopped. And it's going to be an interesting talk, man. Stay tuned.
Inner heroine.
So, let's dive into it. Mental illness is such a stigmatized phenomenon still. It used to be so much worse, right? It used to be worse. Like, it used to be that people could not even, they were hospitalized but mistreated. And I gotta say, it still happens. And I've worked in the field, okay? I did not only do research, I worked more than 5 years in the field with homeless youth, which is the percentage of population that has the most mental challenges, I would say. Homeless people. But then again, is that a fact or is it the way we see them? So I'm gonna dive into stigma on that note, because when we get stigmatized populations and marginalized populations like homeless people, like poor people, like people of color, like LGBTQ population, it's very easy to just put a label of they crazy on them. And you can come up with any fancy diagnosis. It's still a stigma of they crazy. All right. I've been in the field. I saw how we treat them. I treated them badly. So I can talk about my own mistakes, because every single one of us have been conditioned to treat these people like garbage, to just treat them like they don't have any agency as human beings, like they can't think for themselves and they can't decide for themselves, and they are just worse than children. We treat them, right? If you've been on the side of a patient, which I have been also, you know how frustrating it is to struggle with mental challenges, but you're still conscious. You're still conscious that, hey, I'm not treated well. And then you're trying to stand up for yourself, and standing up for yourself is further labeled as a sign that you're unstable. But no, I see clearly. It's just that I have a lot of baggage that I'm struggling with. You dig? And every single one of us has baggage to deal with. And society at large, let me say that really carefully. Society at large is crazy, mad, coconuts. Everyone out there is crazy. I'm saying that because every single one of us is not in touch with the reality as it is, because we live through our mind. We live through our mind, and this is not me saying that like out of my own. It's out of my own experience, but it's also out of being guided and taught by spiritual masters. And after studying psychology, I was so unfulfilled by the way we saw human beings and we conceptualized the mind and human nature that I seeked more. And that was the beginning of my spiritual journey. And it's still going on, baby. It's still going on at the moment. It's really intense, and that's why I'm having all those reflections about mental stigma, how these people that are marginalized, we remove their agency, right? We think they're kind of children that don't know what they're doing. Anything that they say or do, we use it against them as a further sign that they're unstable. But what about other people in society that also are mad because they're living through the mind and not in contact with reality? I'll go deeper in this. I know you're curious about this, but I just want to brush on this and then go into it like further in the video. So what about those people that are doing their 9 to 5, going back home, eating like shit, drinking every day, but just a beer or just 2 beers or just wine or just smoking a joint, just Netflix binge of like 3 hours, just mistreating my wife, just yelling at my husband, just ignoring my children, just doing all of those unhealthy, damaging things to your body and to others around you. And then all of these ways of coping with it, with their craziness, is seen as normal. The fact that they're not really living. Are they living? I'm sorry if it's your case. You're not living, man. You're not living, baby. You're just going through the motions. This is one type of process that people use to cope with not being able to even see their mental processes and feel. But others have injuries, others have, bodily diseases, and all of that is because of the mind. All of that is because of the way the mind is structured. It affects the body. I hope you notice that in yourself. Anxiety and anger and all of these negative emotions that are not really negative, they're just information, but when they linger on, they become damaging to your body because it activates the body and it generates hormones that are detrimental for it in the long run. And so people that are not even in touch with their emotions, they just develop bodily diseases. And that's seen as normal in our society, to have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, to have stomach problems, to have acne. I mean, I've went through all of this, but now I can process my mental things in a much healthier way. And so I know the difference because I've went through all of this. I went through the mental, emotional numbness of not even being able to see what's going on. So I know the difference, and I'm here to tell you, I'm better off feeling and experiencing negative thoughts than just blocking everything and being a nasty person and not even realizing why, and not even doing one step through healing. I'm better off being categorized as mentally ill and whatever because I did reach out for help than just thinking I'm okay because society tells me that the way that I deal with things is okay, which it's not. And you and me know that. The thing is, when you're starting a spiritual journey or when you're starting a healing process, and those that are very challenged mentally, they have to go through that very early on. And when you enter that very early on, you're confronted with your mental garbage. You're confronted with your mental, you're confronted with what's going on and what is wrong and you know what you need to work on, and it's in front of you as mental processes, is in front of you as emotions. It's not masked by coping mechanisms and acting out. Coping mechanism and acting out is the lowest form structurally, is the lowest form of mental processes. People that are higher in consciousness or in their mental process abilities, they feel, they experience things, they have thoughts that are very disturbing. That's a higher level of mental processing. That's a higher level of consciousness. I'm here to tell you, you're not mad. You have a higher level of consciousness and you have a higher level of mental processing. I've worked with a teacher that's his whole thing is to build measurement of mental processes, and people that are acting out always score lower, and these people are usually again, sorry not sorry, usually men, because they're not taught to feel, and they're taught that feelings are bad and feeling are feminine and they should not feel. So instead, what they do is they act out and they use very unhealthy coping mechanism, and that is what is promoted in society. That is what is seen as successful. It's like, suck it up, go to work, be an awful human being, and that's success. Well, not anymore. Things are changing. And I'm here to say, if you're mentally challenged, that means you're here for a greater purpose. That means you have so much baggage to unload that you will become a wiser Rex. If you really want to categorize people, which I don't think we should do at all, but if you really want to categorize people, we should see their amount of mental challenges in comparison with how they handle their day. Because a lot of people don't have much going on and they're completely dysfunctional in terms of how they are strong mentally. But because we're not inside of people's heads, but I know that some people, a little thing happens in their day and they linger on that for 2 days. But mentally challenged people, we're going through so much all of the time that we just learn to just see things and just be like, okay, that's my mind like going off again, or okay, like I'm depressed again. Well, I'm just gonna go through my day and be depressed and whatever. That's genius. That's wise. That's wisdom. Being able to do that, this is wisdom. There's a lot of people, a little thing happens in their day and they're like, please, they call their friends, they butter everyone, they post on Facebook, they just walk with that nasty energy. If you're depressed, if you're bipolar, if you borderline, if you're schizophrenic, if you have any type of anxiety disorder, anything like that, if you've been diagnosed like this, oh, you know, the thing going on in your mind, the thing going on in your head, man, you don't have time to linger on a little thing. You know what I'm saying? And give yourself props for that, because most of the time, because we've been stigmatized, we feel like we're not mentally strong. You are the most mentally strong people on earth. Let me say that again. You are one of the most mentally strong person that exists on this planet. Because you have so much going on in your mind all of the time, all of these thoughts coming at you, all of these emotions that you experience more intensely than most people, and you're still going through your day. You're still going through a day though. You're still trying to do your best to be a good person though. You are. Give yourself props. With all of this mental challenges, people added stigma to it. So you think you're a bad person now? You think you're not good enough? You think you're not able to do this and that? That's going on in your mind. But you're still doing it though? All of these people telling you can't do it and you're still doing it though? You're still doing it though. You're still trying though. You're still waking up though. You're still taking showers. You're still trying to get help. You watching this video. Okay. Use a boss. Don't listen to them. They don't know shit. I've been in the field, okay? I've been in the field until the PhD I'm staying. I've been in the field. I've worked with renowned teachers. They don't know shit. They trying to understand it, but they don't know. They don't know. I can break it down multiple ways, left and right, okay? Up and down. I can break down how the field is faulty. And I will do it. But first of all, I want to validate you. I want to tell you, use a boss. Don't listen to them. So keep on keeping on, keep your head up, keep it up, man. Because use a boss. Use a boss. Okay? And that's all I have to say. Take care of yourself, be gentle, man, because people don't know what's going on for you. And you're doing a lot in your day. Mentally, energetically, emotionally, it takes a lot to go through it. So if it's not as productive as you want for society, let me tell you something. This is work that you're doing. You're doing some work. And this work is going to help a lot of people. Your healing, your way of handling yourself, instead of cutting yourself, you're just going through it and being like, okay, let me just stay there in my bed and not do anything about it, not, yell at people or not cutting myself or not acting out. This is work. This in itself is work. So you're working, baby. Congrats.